Hey guys, welcome to Protocols Point. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn how to create or build a URL sorting application in Node.js. So in our previous part, we have learned how to create a Node.js project, how to create an Express server, and how to get connected to our MongoDB database in our Node.js project. So in this part, that is third part, we are going to build a database model or a schema model for our user database and the URL submission database. So let's get started. Okay, so in our models folder that we have created in our previous tutorial, create a new file and name it as user.model.js. Okay, so here we are going to create a database schema model for a user, that is user collection. So here first of all import Mongoose, and in this file itself we are going to import our database connectivity file that we have created in our second part. So this is our database connectivity file, so we just need to import it. So import db.eb is equal to required dot configuration.db. okay, so this is for database connectivity. Okay, so now let's create a MongoDB database schema. Okay, so for this, from our Mongoose library we need to import schema model. So const schema. Okay, so Mongoose. Okay, so now I can import schema from this like this. Okay, and now let's create a user schema object. So user schema is equal to new, and this is our object. So here in user database model we are going to store three fields. One is username, one is email, and one is password. So let's store that. Okay, name. So the name will be of type string. So I will just don't provide any validation to it. I will just create a simple thing just to make this video tutorial and easy for user to understand. So here email is also a string and password will also be a string. Okay, so our schema structure has been created. So now let me pass this to our database schema model. So here const user model is equal to db.model. So here we need to pass our schema. Okay, so we need to name our collection name. So I'll just name it as users and pass our schema over here. Okay, and now so we can make use of this model anywhere. So that we can make use of it, we just need to export it. So model dot export user model. Okay, so user schema has been created. So likewise we need to create another collection, that is MongoDB database collection for URL submission. So whenever a user submit any URL for shortening it, we need to store it in somewhere in the database. So for that also we need a URL shortening database. So let me create one more file over here and let me name it as URL submit URL dot model .js. Okay, so the same thing over here. So I will just import this three lines over here. So create a new schema, that is URL submission schema. Schema is equal to new schema. So in submission schema I need to store which user has submitted that URL, a long URL and a short URL ID. Okay, so we need three fields over here. One is user ID, long URL we need to store, and a short ID for this short URL I can name it as. Okay, so all this thing will be a string, type is equal to string. Okay, and for this user ID I need to store it as a user. So for this I want to refer it to our database, so user database model. Okay, so let me import that. So user model required. So here type reference we need to make use of type. Okay, type schema dot type dot object ID. Okay, and we are going to refer this thing. So reference reference will be user model dot model name. Okay, and then finally we need to attach it to our schema. So const url submission model is equal to db dot model, and we need to give a name to this collection. So url submission, I will just name it as, okay, so this will be a collection name, and then here I am going to just pass our schema. Okay, and now finally export this schema model, export user. Okay, so now if I run this db.data, let me check what happens. Or else if I run any of this file, let me check what happens. Node model url model. Okay, so you can see database got connected by running this file. Now if I go to my MongoDB database compose, and if I refresh it, you can see a database collection has been created over here. So under this I have two collections, one is user collection and one is URL submission collection. So now I can create a route for user registration and URL submission. So this will be done in our next part, that is fourth part. Okay, so thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. Protocol at this point. Thank you.